Thank you. Like she said, I'm Darren Friedel, founder of the Right Therapy Project. April 13th of 2010 was, I call it the day that I was born. Obviously, I'm a lot older than that, but I went to work on the 14th, and I received some news that one of my coworkers, a friend, and a mentor had committed suicide. And we all knew it was possible, and we didn't do enough. And that was something that stuck with me still to this day. So it was then that I decided that I was going to be the one person that attempts to help those individuals, to reach out and help them before they start looking down that darker path. When we initially started the concept of Right Therapy, we looked at what do I do to get out and just let the stresses go away. And my passion was motorcycles. I could have the worst day on the planet, and I get on that bike and I point it down the road, and everything gets put in perspective. Life isn't that bad when you look at it from a different angle. So we initially started out trying to help veterans suffering from depression and PTSD. Then I was approached by a couple other veterans about the possibility of providing custom modifications for disabled veterans as well. So that's what we ended up, that's how the charity started. Now we help veterans with PTSD and depression. We help connect them with other bikers, veterans, riding groups, ATV groups that share the same kind of passion as them. So they can go ride, they talk to other veterans that have similar life experiences. So it's a lot easier for them to realize that they're not alone and they have people that experience the same stuff. For those individuals with disabilities, we want to return a sense of normalcy. Let them feel that feeling of independence again. If you're several veterans of Iraq and Afghanistan have lost limbs from IEDs and other events, what we do is if they don't have a bike, we find them one, we modify it, do all the custom mods right in my garage. Most of it is, I call it farm boy ingenuity. Some people call it rednecking it. But growing up on a farm without a lot of money, you figured out how to make things work without spending a ton. So that's how we can do what we do with the limited amount of donations that we actually get. Currently, I have a trike right now for a vet that's missing his right leg. Trying to figure out the braking system on that so he can still ride, be safe, be able to apply the front and the rear brakes independently. So we ended up moving the brakes over to the left side and moving the shifter back so he's got the capability to stretch his leg out, press the rear brake if need be, and still shift, still apply his clutch and brake at the same time. So that way it's a lot safer for him and it's a little bit easier. Throughout the course of the last 4 years, we've given away 5 motorcycles. The very first one was my own personal custom bike I made. Loved the military my whole life, so I took this bike, I stripped it all down. It's painted, looked like the old World War II bike. It had these huge ammo cans for saddlebags with Humvee taillights and the white star on the tank and everything, and that was my baby. That was what I did. And when I'm starting this, trying to get people to realize that we were serious and we wanted to help people, I figured what would be the best way to do it was to get rid of something I love and give it to someone that could deserve it. The individual that received that was a veteran out of Colorado Springs who had his best friend killed in Korea when they were in an accident right next to him. And the poor guy returned home expecting a nice welcome from his wife, and when he got to his apartment was completely empty and his wife is gone, not to be seen. She sold all his stuff. So he was just heading down a path that most can't blame him for. Drinking, having fallen onto hard times financially. And his one thing was motorcycles. So we put him on a bike, and I'm happy to say that he's now since moved from Colorado Springs to Ohio somewhere. He's married with a kid on the way now, and he's doing incredibly well. And I think I gave him that bike with 30,000 miles on it, and he's already up to 70. So he just rides that thing everywhere. That is what we try to portray. That's what we try to do with everybody. It doesn't take a lot to help someone else. I've always said it takes one. It takes one person to say, I'm going to make a difference. I'm going to say hi. I'm going to do this and try to help somebody else. Evolution itself is based on that one. It took one to jump out of the ooze to start coming on land and becoming what we are today, if you believe in evolution, of course. But all it takes is that one person, that one donation, that one individual that says that I'm going to give because I care. And that's what we do. That's what we try to do. We've done it since the beginning of when Right Therapy started. I've done it my whole life, is helping other people. So I guess what I'm trying to get at with everyone here is it doesn't take a lot. A lot of people, a lot of businesses, they look at potentially donating as something that, man, I have to donate $1,000, I have to donate $2,000, $3,000 to do all that. You don't. You don't donate 20 bucks, donate 30 bucks. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't, because what we get out of that $20 to $30 could make the difference between us doing one bike a year versus doing 2 to 3. So yeah, that's about it. It's that simple. It's something that we love doing. We're a local charity right out of here. I live in Somerset. I've lived in the hills for over 20 years now, so I consider myself a Black Hills resident, and I love this community. I love our veterans. I love this country. I love everything we stand for, and I'm thankful every day that I get to help other people.
Hi, how you doing, sir?
Good.
Good. The people suffering from mental illness or PTSD, outside of putting them on motorcycles, what do you do in order to get them the help they need?
Oh, sorry. There are a ton of veteran outreach programs, especially in the Black Hills. Personal friend of mine, Ryan, runs the VA transition program for veterans moving from the military to civilian life. There's all kinds of, we have the Hope Center and the Vet Center, as well as just thousands and thousands of phone calls they can make to everything else. So if they're suffering from mental illness and they need someone to help them, we will point them in that direction. We will try to do whatever we can to get them the help they need, even if it's just sitting down talking with another vet, or as far as getting admitted to the VA for continued treatment. It kind of just depends on the situation with the veterans, but we do connect them with a wide array of solutions so that way they can work on getting better.
Other questions?
First, thank you for your service. and what you are doing for vets. How are you getting the word out and donations? You know, do you contact businesses directly, or how are you doing your marketing so that your program can continue to grow and flourish?
Right now, mainly just social media, local news, radio. They've been nice enough to publish us out there. We do have a growing list of businesses that we've found and contacted that donate once a year, 4 times a year, or whatever, for they get their tax write-off and all that other stuff. But we're growing there. As far as marketing goes, I'm an IT guy, but we're not known to be people. So it's we do have a press coordinator that's been very steeped in dealing with press and writing news releases and everything. So he does a lot of the interpersonal marketing stuff. But as far as like an outright marketing plan, we really don't have one. I work full time. I spend 5 to 6 hours in my shop working on a bike almost every day. So it's just kind of word of mouth, and then social media is mainly how we get our word out there.
While we're up here, I want to ask you about, talk a little bit about fundraising events, past events and upcoming events, and yeah, just a little bit about that.
Well, every year, the Sunday before Memorial Day, we have our Veterans Honor Ride. This year we had 100 motorcycles show up, close to 170 people actually attended. We'll go and ride. It's a free will donation kind of thing, but it also gets us out there, gets people wondering why all these motorcycles are going over, and they see us in the news and everything. We have various different fundraisers, all centers around motorcycles. When we have like poker runs throughout the year, just partnered up with the quilting club out of one of the Catholic churches in town. Yeah. They called me yesterday, honestly, and said they want to do a raffle on one of their quilts throughout the summer to try to raise money for us. We donation-wise, it's all personal donations. We have everything on our website. People can go and donate as much as they want, or as little as they possibly can. We're not really picky on that. Get a lot of ideas for fundraisers. It's just finding the place to host the fundraiser, the person that would be willing to take some time and help us coordinate all that other stuff. That we do run into trouble from a non-motorcyclist perspective. It's a lot tougher for us to crack that side of the house of people that don't ride, because a lot of people they see bikers, they see tattoos and just a natural disdain for the public order, I guess. But I'm here to tell you, motorcyclists, from my experience, have the biggest hearts I've ever seen in the world, and they give and give until they can't give much more. So and they understand the therapeutic nature that riding actually provides. We try to explain that to non-riders, people that don't ride ATVs and don't ride motorcycles. I explain it to people that like to ride horses. They get on that horse, they ride forever. It's their way of doing things. Some people crochet, some people knit, some people like to restore old cars. It doesn't matter the way you get your mind right. We just want to help you find that way. We do focus in motorcycles because that's what I know. I mean, if someone is struggling and having trouble, we're going to try to find something that that individual can do that's therapeutic to them in nature, but they can actually benefit from, and it's something they're passionate about. Because we're not going to put a guy or a gal that has no riding experience whatsoever. We're not going to give them an 800-pound motorcycle and say, "Hey, have fun." That's just not how we do it. We try to find the best fit for them, and if it is motorcycles or ATVs, awesome. If it's not, then we'll try to point them different directions. And we with charities, fundraising is very competitive. It is, and Charity A doesn't want to partner with Charity B because Charity B might take some of their donors away, which I completely understand. From what way we will look at it is, if I can partner with the mission, their veteran wing, and help provide something, I'm going to partner with them and do that. I don't get paid a dime to do any of this. None of us do that work for Right Therapy. We do it because we want to help veterans. So whichever way we can, awesome. If we have to sit and serve food or help hand out blankets or anything like that, that's what we do. So that's kind of the drive we have, besides getting donations to do motorcycles, which modifying a motorcycle costs us about anywhere between $2,500 to $5,000 a motorcycle. So we get limited donations. So if we have to buy the bike and do all that, we're looking at $10,000 just for one bike to get the guy back on there. So in the interim of us getting enough donations in to do something like a motorcycle and ATV, we'll give to a lot of the local organizations that help veterans.
Deanna, you had a question too.
Hi. I just wanted to say that great projects come out of basements and garages. What, Apple and Microsoft, to be specific. So I want to commend you for doing the work that you're doing. I just found your Facebook page and liked it, so that's a huge start. I was just going to ask, similar with marketing, is where you were at in marketing, but just recommending sharing the Facebook page and getting it out to all of us. So I'm assuming our 1 Million Cups page will have that as well. So not really a question, it's just a matter of great job.
Dang it, I forgot my question. First things first, I have two questions. One, tell me about your passion, because this doesn't happen after dropping the hat. I mean, this had to be because that you felt something, the need to help veterans, the way that you feel about making change for that veteran's life in regard to having PTSD or mental illness. And my second question is, I forgot the second question. I'll come across it. So what I'll do is have you answer that one. I'll just pass it so I.
Well, I've always had the drive to help people. That's kind of something my folks have drilled into me since I was a kid. Working on a farm, if the neighbor needed help, I was the oldest and the strongest, so I ended up going over to help the neighbor stack hay because that's what Dad wanted me to do. And it was kind of just ingrained in me. As far as becoming this the passion, when I found out Doug killed himself, it hit me really hard because I've known Doug for quite a few years, and I knew that he was a potential to be a suicide victim. And what I did what every good soldier does, is relied on the chain of command. I kept passing it up, chain of command, passing it up. Instead of taking action myself, I thought I'd do the right thing by letting it trickle down the way it's supposed to. After that, I told myself I wasn't going to do it anymore. I was going to, if someone is hurting, if someone is showing signs and symptoms similar to what my experiences was when I got back from Iraq and before I decided to actually seek help, was I would look for those in the individuals I talk to and say, hey, it's all right here, let's go talk, let's go grab a coffee, let's go do something that we can do together, and we can talk about our experiences to kind of let you know that, hey, you're not alone in this world, you're not a burden on anybody, you're just a person that needs a little tuning, so.
Actually, you had a question.
Nothing really to do, I guess, with ride therapy, but just curious, what kind of bike do you have?
Oh, okay. My first bike was a Kawasaki Vulcan Nomad. That was the one I decked all out to look like an army bike. My current one is a 2016 Indian Roadmaster. I call it a lazy boy on two wheels. It's amazingly comfortable. It's got heat seats and hand grips and adjustable windshield. It's got all kinds of cool stuff that I can ride in any weather, and I can take for miles and miles and miles. And it was, I wanted something, because I like to ride long distances and not just putz around town. So I wanted something that if I decide to go do the Iron Butt ride, I don't know if anyone's heard of the Iron Butt rides, but it's there's different phases but you have to do 1,000 miles in the course of 5 days or something to that effect.
1,001, this is
Yeah.
1,001, 24
Yeah,
hours.
1,024 hours. Do 1,000 miles in 24 hours. Keep all your receipts for gas and stuff, so they make sure you don't stop at certain times, and there's different ones. I wanted something that I could take like that and ride. I've ridden on my old Kawasaki, I went from here, or from Little Rock, Arkansas, to Rapid City in a day. And when I got off that bike, I couldn't walk right for at least like 2 weeks. So this was why I chose the bike I got now, is I'm there for comfort and not for speed, so.
Tell us a little bit more about your nonprofit's organizational structure and how you guys are planning for the future, what you're doing to get ready for what's next.
Yep. Well, our organization structure, we have 5 board members. My wife is the president of the board, mainly because she's the president of the house anyway. So, and she's got a little more time, and she's got a lot more patience than I do. I'm the vice president. We also have our press coordinator. We have a secretary, and then we have a board member at large. And that the board member at large is kind of just the tie-breaking vote. We wanted to have odd number of board members, so that way there's never going to be a tie.
Arbitration.
Yeah, exactly. So, but looking in the future, we're looking at expanding our board, at least 2 to 4 people here in the next couple years. Someone to, one, kind of help share the workload and bring new ideas, fresh ideas injecting in, because if you stay still too long, you turn stale and new ideas stop flowing. So we don't want to ever get to the point where we're stagnant and not moving forward. As far as like future-wise goes, we'd like to at least expand to the continental U.S. We want to be able to hit everywhere. The end goal is hopefully in the next 10 years, I wouldn't have to work. My job would be just to travel and help vets, and that's kind of my end goal. But until we get to that point where we actually have enough donations and funds coming in, I'm not going to take money away from anything else to make that happen. So.
Found my question. Tooling. I mean, you use tools in order to work and build bikes or modify them, right?
Mhm.
Those same tools cost, I'm sure, a lot of money, right? How are you getting that through donations?
Oh. All our tools and equipment and stuff like that, that all comes out of my pocket. I don't take anything from the donation well, that events out there. Other partnerships that we could see beneficially is like a marketing firm, someplace that can look at our website and say, okay, if you do it this way, it'll look great. Other areas of potential partnerships are local businesses that you may not be able to donate monetarily, but you'll be able to donate products that we could use as raffle items or silent auction items or gifts that we give to people for donating in at events or online or wherever they donate. You know, like my pipe dream goal, honestly, is Polaris Corporate jumps on board, mainly because Polaris has motorcycles, ATVs, snowmobiles, all that under one umbrella. So that'd be kind of like the dream married matchup, is we're able to actually work with them. They provide us parts and other stuff that we need to use, but for right now, we'd just be happy with kind of any partnership we get. Yeah, to be honest with you, anyone that's willing to work with us to help, if working with us in turn helps better your brand or helps increase your footprint around the area, then we're all for it. We're not one of those groups that want you to give us all your money, but we don't want to talk about you. We're gonna definitely do everything we can to make anyone that decides to partner with us look absolutely amazing. So.
Not tall enough.
So on a corporate level, how many businesses, I mean, like really on a corporate level, have you approached and tapped into? You know, you said Polaris, and you know, I mean, at least for parts and those kind of things, but also as a partnership level, I mean, how you could really expand that.
We have our, I call it our dream drive. Every year, I'll mail the big power sports conglomerates to see if they'd be willing to partner with us, your Harley Davidsons, your Hondas, Kawasaki's, Polaris, all that, to see if they'd be willing to partner with us or work with us on a reduced rate of parts. Right now, S&S engines, who those that are familiar with motorcycles know S&S makes one of the best engines out there. They're doing a 30% discount for any engines we buy. 30% of a $10,000 engine is still a lot though, but they're willing to work that way with us. So yeah, we have reached out to corporations, but we're not a big enough fish for corporations to jump on yet. So once we get up there to where we start influencing a lot of people, then yeah, I could see us getting a bigger corporate sponsorship that way.
I need to respond to that.
Do you have another?
Yeah.
Okay.
You are a big fish. You are huge. You have a huge impact. You have a huge presence. And you need to really own that and really step into it. Because the only way you're going to, you know, to really get their attention is to know the power that you have already been given you, assigned to you. This was assigned to you from your friend Doug to be bigger and greater and expand this. So please don't be small in this. And I seriously, the courage that you have already to have done this and to rise past the stigma of the motorcycle thing, get out of that too, because there's so many businessmen and so many other
Yeah.
people that have come into this arena of riding a motorcycle for the pure joy and the outlet of it that you described earlier, that, I mean, seriously, I'd be willing to help you with talking to corporate people, because I'm not scared.
Oh, awesome.
You know,
Awesome.
I really, I just see such power in what you do. My husband is a survivor, you know, PTSD, dealing with that as well, and I see that. My son is 14 years in the Guards as well, and having been affected by that, so I'm on board. I will do what I can,
Oh,
but
awesome.
you gotta quit thinking small.
Yeah.
This is huge. This is huge, and I can really feel it for you.
Okay, excellent, thank you.
Have you made any connection with the publisher? Maverick Publishing up in Sturgis, the motorcycle magazine publisher? Are you even aware they're up there?
No, I wasn't aware of
A
that.
lot of people aren't, but there's a nationwide magazine publisher, Maverick Publishing, and they would be a natural fit for this
Okay.
organization.
Awesome.
And I just want to make you aware of that. They're good people to work with, and but level up for a story or just reaching out.
Okay.
I'd say a story. Get some
Yeah.
press out of them. So it would Maverick Publishing,
Okay.
Sturgis.
All right.
Also, DAV would be interested too.
Okay.
So let's talk a little bit about your nonprofit status as well. What are some of the biggest struggles that you have ran into being a nonprofit and tapping into government grants?
Oh, okay. Well, the biggest struggle is trying to find a grant is a insurmountable task for me anyway. Just like I said, I'm very, very busy, and then being able to write a grant. I'm not skilled in writing. I never have been. So if we're looking at trying to find someone that knows how to write grants, with us being a private nonprofit and not a public nonprofit, that kind of narrows our grant window down a lot. And then, you know, the fact that we don't deal with education and a bunch of other things that have tons of grants out there, a little more difficult. I honestly just don't know how to find them. That's kind of what it boils down to. Is we seriously don't know how to get them, how to look for them, where to go. It just kind of, I can Google it all day, but then you don't find it. So it'll be a lot easier to find someone that actually has that ability to do that.
Malik, you have a question?
No, just more or less a statement. You don't have to send the microphone
Okay.
over. I can talk loud enough. As a veteran, I'm more sympathetic to your cause. So what I'll do is I can help you with all that and not ask for a red cent.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Okay?
That'd be
And
phenomenal.
I'm going to tell you I'm good at what I do,
Oh, excellent.
and I will get you to point A to point B. Not to mention getting you in contact with some veterans groups that I'm aware of that can assist you in getting you from point A to point B.
Oh, awesome.
Also, I can find you donors that can really assist you along, especially a lot of tool companies that you work with tools, so they can get you where, help you do the needed repairs on, and modifications to your bikes as well to help assist you along. Just get with me as soon as this ends.
Okay, we'll do, thank you.
One other question,
So-
are you a 501c3 or have you jumped through those hoops yet?
Yes, we are a full 501c3.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so here's the big ask. So the very last question that we always ask is, what can we do as a Million Cups community, help you in the Right Therapy Project to support you and build your business? And this is the big ask, so shoot for as high as you can.
Well, besides the grant writing and the tools and everything, which would be highly beneficial, is it costs, like I said, it costs us about 10 grand to do a bike, even if doing most of the work myself. So we'd like to get to the point where we raise $50,000 to $60,000 a year, so we could do 5 to 6. That would benefit us greatly. So I mean, that would put us at a point where we don't have to worry about doing 800 fundraisers throughout the year. We'd have more time to dedicate towards building bikes and ATVs and everything like that, so.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Darren, for presenting. We really appreciate it, and we appreciate your service for our country as well. So let's give it up for Darren.